Hey everybody, this is CaptainMarvel reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review for October 11th, 2023. Alright, welcome everybody. For those of you new to this channel, I review some comic books. I can't review them all, there's only so much time and money. You're going to hear my notes rattling. I give them a score of 0 through 10, 7 being average, like 70%. I use school grades, okay, school grades. And make sure you stick to the very end to get my number one pick, because the last one I go over is the one I think everybody should be getting. Now, I don't do these alone. I also give you the view of the people on League of Comics Geeks, so that way you get a balanced review of different thoughts on the book, not just my own. I feel it's the best way. Now, you might hear some clicks. That's me clicking on my computer because I'm doing these live, so there's not really hardly ever any edits on these. So the first one I want to go over was Batman and Robin number 2, where I gave it a 7 out of 10, where League of Comics Geeks had 184 out of 201 liking it with a 3.8 average rating, a little higher than my score. By the way, I also give a little bit of a brief synopsis of each one of these issues. It's introducing a new villain, Shush. Introducing Shush. Who does she work for? And how they turn one of Batman's greatest tools against him. Urban Juggle continues as the father and son dynamic duo are on the deadly case. But first, Damian must deal with, yes, his first day of school. Writers Joshua Williamson, artist and colorist is Simon DeMille. Once again, I do butcher names. So if you're new, I butcher a lot of names. There's no offense meant there. It's just the way I am. I thought the story was okay. The bat story issue with the bats is a little bit silly. They did a underlining bat story to bring the history in. I think they're trying too hard here. Just trying too hard to make something connect and be cool. And I would say the art's a bit of a letdown. It was decent art at best. Not my favorite, but it's still not terrible. If you're a huge Batman Robin fan, you might want to check this out. Otherwise, so far it's been okay. It's just okay. Now, the next issue I want to talk about is one I enjoyed more, and that was Green Lantern number 4. Yes, I did a rhyme there on purpose. Yes, 189 out of 190 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 4.3 average rating. That's pretty darn solid. And you know what? I gave it a 7.6. A pretty solid effort as well from the writer Jeremy Adams and the artist Zermanico. Once again, butchered your name. I apologize. This is guest starring none other than The Flash. Yes, we had The Flash. After Sinestro's attack on Ferris Air, Hal calls in a fast friend for help, and we get to see them two together. I don't know about you, I thought this issue had great art. I really like seeing Flash and Green Lantern together. Their friendship, their partnership really goes in here and shows, and I love this duo as a team. You know, I think they would make a great comic book series with these two together. I think it really would be nice. Though I do wish that they didn't split this up into multiple stories. Just keep one main story. I think the book overall would be more value that way. Remove the secondary story, put more pages into the main story. This is a good series. If you like Hal Jordan Green Lantern, or even if you just like The Flash, this is definitely one that I think you should not miss. I greatly appreciated this issue, as I said before. I gave it a 7.6, and I think it deserved every single point of that 7.6 that I gave it. But hey, that's me. Now let's go to the next one, which I reviewed, which was World's Finest Teen Titans, Sting Like a Bee. This is issue 4 out of 6. It's a mini series. 129 out of 136 liked it with a 4.1 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, where I gave it a 7. So they thought a little bit higher of it than I did. Actually, quite a bit higher. And the creators, we had Mark Waid writing it, and the artist Emmanuel Lipicino. Sorry, butchered your name there. And anyway, it says breaking up is hard to do. America's sweetest situation. I can't speak. There's a breakup, including sort of, maybe, with Aqualad and Wonder Girl. They haven't really broke up though. when Garth realizes that part of him isn't fully in it with Donna, so he's thinking it's just not working. To heal the wounds, Wally invites Garth and Roy to a sleepover at his folks' home, where Aqualad opens up about his fluid sexuality. Of course, we've got to always have stuff like that in there, right? Fluid, though, with water, a little bit of a pun there. Meanwhile, Mal assists Bumblebee in an unexpected battle, giving him a taste of the Teen Titan that he could potentially be with a shield. I'm not going to say who that is. I'm going to let you guess. Who would have a shield in DC? You better figure that one out. The story is okay, it's decent, but this is a 6-issue miniseries, and now we're at 4 issues in, and we really didn't still get a whole lot of development here. So I think there's a mistake in the pacing in this. I do like seeing the Titans deal with some regular life, though. I don't like that in a lot of books, but the Teen Titans is one that seems to work a little bit. And the art's okay, but the story really is a little childish. I know this is Teen Titans, so I expect an element of that, but to me it just seemed a little too childish. But let me know your thoughts. Was it, like I thought? As I said, I didn't give the score a bad score. I just thought it could be better. And speaking of could be better, let's look at The Amazing Spider-Man number 35. Yep, this sets up the next 24 issues, it says, of Amazing Spider-Man. So be disappointed, because if this is what's setting it up, I give this book a 7 out of 10. So let you know we're in for a series of probably mid. 114 out of 141 liked and on League of Comics Geeks with only a 3.5 average rating. So once again, if this is your big setup, that's a problem. That's not looking so good. The writer Zeb Wells, artist Patrick Gleason on this. I thought the art was good, but I am really not a fan of the whole storyline that we had here with passing the sins of Norman to Peter. I just didn't care for that. I think I tend to like a more street level Spider-Man. He can have some bigger adventures with bigger characters once in a while, but let's give him some more street level. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I wasn't a big fan of the normal cover. There is several other variant covers available, some that are much better, like ones with the black cat that were really a lot better cover than what's here. Cover might be the only thing really worth buying the book for at this point. There was some really good black cat covers there. So if you're looking for a variant cover, those are probably the ones to get. But I've always been a Black Cat fan. Black Cat, I think, is an interesting character. That's my thoughts on this book. What were your thoughts on this book? I'd really like to know. Are you digging The Amazing Spider-Man, or do you think it's a really Zeb Wells is dropping the ball here? The next issue that I went over, are we ready? Next issue, right, is The Avengers number 6, where on League of Comics Geeks, 110 out of 119 liked it with a 4 average rating, where I gave it a 7.03, just a little above average. The writer is Jed McKay, artist is Ivan Fiore, which again, I apologize if I butcher your name. The Avengers battle with the Ashen Combine comes to a head, and one will fall. But will the impossible city fall with them? No, they won't. What kind of doom might fall upon the Earth as a consequence? Plus a bonus story celebrating Latinx heroes and creators. Once again, who's using a Latinx, or whatever we pronounce that as? I mean, come on now. Let's be realistic. Well, anyway, here's my thoughts on this issue. I thought it had decent art and action in it, but I'm sorry, I'm still not a fan of how this artist draws Falcon, Captain America. Once again, I know he's Captain America, but to me, he's Falcon. I like Falcap. I wish that maybe if they're going to cave him that way, call him that, because it diminished from the character and what he built on his own legacy. Because I'm a big fan of Sam Wilson, and that's the thing, this artist draws Sam Wilson's face a little weird. And in my opinion, the story was a bit underwhelming. I mean, how this ended, I don't know, it just didn't seem very climactic to me. Now, on top of that, the Avengers now have a living planet on the team. Are they trying to be the Doom Patrol here? I mean, come on now. If you know the Doom Patrol, you understand that reference here. It just seems a little like that hasn't been done before. Just a little underwhelming overall. I was hoping for better, but it is what it is. So, can't have them all be winners. But, sometimes we get a book that really does surprise us. It goes a little bit better than what was expected. In this case for me, that was issue number 26 of Venom. it was better than I expected. I gave it a 7.4, where 39 out of 42 liked it with a 4 average rating. So League of Comics Geeks thought it was a little better too, where the writer is Torin Grobeck, and artist Julius Ohata. Once again, I butcher names. We have the sting of the Widow. After the shocking events of Venom number 23, Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, crosses paths with the symbiotes in a way that will leave them both changed forever. I really like the cover of this issue. I thought it was a solid art cover. There's some variant art covers too, and some with the Black Widow that are pretty cool, but I think the main cover was pretty good. And the Black Widow here with the symbiote suit is something that I never thought I'd say I'd enjoy. I'm not a big fan of symbiotes, to be honest, which you might be going, why are you reading Venom? That's a good point. But as you see here in this picture I'm going to show, really cool. I'm digging that. And I like the power set on Black Widow. I think it's quite fitting. As a matter of fact, I think I would enjoy a Venom series more if Black Widow was the central character. I think I'd enjoy that much more. As I gave this a 7.4, this was a pretty fun issue. I think it's mainly because I enjoyed the role that Black Widow had in it. So let me know, are you reading this series? Because not a lot of people appear to be doing that. But I really, this one surprised me. I've been pretty underwhelmed with this series, and this issue stands out to me. The next one I read was Blade issue number 4, where 60 out of 61 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 3.8 average rating, and I gave it a 7.2, so we're not too far of a difference there. The writer is Brian Hill, and the artist is Valentia Pinti. Once again, I apologize. Doctor Strange joins Blade on a high-speed heist. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Blade must break into an armored fortress of a weapons collector to steal a sword of an unknown power. And it's a train that goes hardly ever under 180 miles an hour with adamantium. Pretty awesome. The key to defeating the Adena. But the fortress isn't just heavily armored, it's mobile, as I said, 180 plus miles an hour. Doctor Strange guest stars in this issue as well, and it's a good amount of action. The art, though, I thought could be better. There's some really odd panels. For example, like this one I'm going to show you right here, where we have Doctor Strange looking like he was squeezed in to fit the panel. But otherwise, there's good action, and it's an interesting story. So if you're a Blade fan, you might want to be checking this one out. Now, I still got a few more before I get to my top pick. So bear with me there, okay? And I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I think this week's top pick was really, really something special. But before going into anything special, let's talk about Captain Marvel Assault on Eden number 1. It's a one-shot. On League of Comics Geeks, though, 24 out of 25 liked it with a 4.1 average rating. I gave it a 6.9. Yeah, I did not agree with that evaluation of those people, but hey, that's what makes us different. Writer is Anthony Olivier... Anthony, sorry, dude. And artist Ilorona Carini. Okay, so here we go. Captain Marvel soldiers up to save the Kree homeworld. The Kree home planet Apollo has become a paradise under the rule of Emperor Hulkling. But when sentries launch an attack on civilians and start stealing children, Earth's mightiest heroes must intervene. This might be hitting a little too close to home for some right now with the events that are going on, so maybe take a moment and pray for people that you care about and others that are going through a tough time right now. Well, anyway, I'm really not a fan of this one shot. Wasn't a fan of the art style. That was part of it. I gave it a negative for. I just didn't care for the art style. And Captain Marvel keeps getting miniseries constantly. Let's be honest, at this point, is not every series that she has a miniseries. They never last, which is a shame. Get a good team and get us some good Carol Danvers. The last series was probably one of the better ones we've had in a while. This issue just didn't do it for me. Why they felt they had to release a one-shot like this is beyond me. And then the art in the secondary story with Monica was even worse. I don't get it. I didn't care for this issue. I gave it a 6.9, but as I said, other people tend to disagree greatly with me on this one. I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on this one? If you read it, am I missing something? I mean, what is it, me? I don't know. All right, I got 2 more issues, so I'm almost to the top. The next one was Moonknight, City of the Dead, number 4 out of 5, and I gave it a 7.4. 30 out of 34 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 3.9 average rating. The writer was David Pepos, and penciler is Marcelo Ferreira. Once again, butchered name. Nothing is more feared in the city of dead than the ancient crocodile goddess known as Ammit the Devourer. Unfortunately, Mark Spector is currently being digested inside. Yeah, inside that thing. And we get an interesting little bit of insight into his past, because yes, that's what Marvel writers love to do, is tie into the past. And we get an action-filled, no editing here, an action-filled good art. We have an interesting story, and I really do want to see the end of this. I want to see how this plays out. I gave it, once again, a 7.4. If you are a fan of Moonknight, this is probably pretty good for you. All right, my number one. Are you ready? This one takes me for a trip, and that's CapWolf and the Howling Commandos issue number 1. And I don't think enough people are reading this, because on League of Comics Geeks, 26 out of 27 liked it with a 3.9 average rating. I gave this book an 8.2. Yeah, those numbers were too low. The writer is Stephanie Phillips, artist Carlos Magna. And anyway, when Captain America is transformed into a werewolf on the front lines of World War II, he'll need the help of the Howling Commandos to take down a band of Nazi cultists who intend to use supernatural forces to turn the tide of battle. But can Cap control the skeptical, jaded commandos when he can barely control himself? So with that said, this is not a canon inline kind of story. Okay? I had to read this issue, though. If you weren't aware, I have covered the original CapWolf story a long time ago on this channel. Go ahead and do a search for it and check it as I go over that, what happened in the events in there. The cover of this issue, this CapWolf and the Howling Commandos, the cover is really cool. I dig the main cover there. The main one, in my opinion, is my favorite one that was on there. Really cool. The cover's cool. This issue is just stupid, crazy fun. And that's what I like about it. And it's nice seeing some classic Nick Fury as well. Even though this is early days of Nick Fury, I think Marvel, you need to fix that. Let's give us the good classic Nick Fury. I know you did all these changes for Samuel L. Jackson. I get it. Okay, but come on now. Do we have to match everything? And maybe, you know what? Reading this item gave me a really weird idea for a team up. Maybe we could get sometime a team up with Captain America and BJ Blazkowicz. Yeah, little gaming throw there, humor. I just think it'd be a great team up with a Elseworld, you know, some kind of alternate history story. Would be really fun to have those two together. But that was it. My number 1 pick, CapWolf and the Howling Commandos, number 1, and I really am interested in getting number 2 to see where the story goes from here. I want to take a moment to thank these people here, because without them, this channel would not be possible. You can help through Patreon or Subscribe Star, or even do a one-time donation down below with Streamlabs. Also, if you want to buy anything through Amazon, use my Amazon account there, link there. You can go through there. And if you buy anything, it helps me out just a little bit too. Matter of fact, if you want to help me out a little bit just one time, another option is go to my Patreon account, and I have a song up there for $3. You can purchase that song for $3. I would have had it as $1, but they don't allow them to go the things on there to go less than $3, which saddened me, because I thought $1 would have been enough to throw in the till. But that's just a way that you can help and support this channel as well. Thank you, everybody. You've all been wonderful. Let me know what your top pick was, and until next time, keep it frugal.